What's up, family? Welcome back to another video. Now, listen, I don't even like doing these type of videos, but this one right here, it hit different because this ain't just another crime headline. This ain't some random story across the country. This was a mother of six doing what she was supposed to do, handling her business, going to work, clocking in at McDonald's in East Point, Michigan, trying to keep food on the table, and she didn't even come home. Right. So Jennifer Harris, a mother, a manager, 15 years at the job, and now she's gone, stabbed to death by one of her own employees while working the darn shift at the drive-through window. Let that sit for a second. But before we actually have a conversation, because I want to get you guys' thoughts, and I let off my thoughts, let's check out the video.
Everybody, I'm Rupert.
And I'm Taryn Asher. We begin with a heartbreaking loss for one Metro Detroit family dealing really with an unthinkable tragedy.
Yeah, Taryn, what began as a normal day at work quickly turned violent. A mother of six stabbed to death at an East Point McDonald's while doing her job.
And Fox News' Camille Amiri joining us live with the very latest. And Camille, we understand you have spoken now with the woman's family. I mean, it's hard to imagine what they're going through.
Yeah, I mean, we were here all day, and then family members started showing up this afternoon, one after another, all coming back to the scene of the crime. She has six children, as you said, ages 5 to 20, and some of the littlest ones were here. And let me tell you, it was absolutely heartbreaking.
My mom was a good person. She was the best mom anybody could ever ask for.
Jennifer Harris, a single mother of six, a manager at McDonald's, fatally stabbed Thursday morning by one of her employees, according to police.
My mama, she woke up every day and went to work for us. My mama died trying to take care of us.
It happened right before 8 o'clock at the McDonald's on 9 Mile in East Point.
From our understanding, it happened near the drive-through window inside of the building, so in the employee area.
Investigators say it started as a verbal dispute between Harris and her employee. Harris asked the woman to leave, but
she came back with a mask on her face, and the only thing I seen was her hands. That's how I knew it was her. And she started stabbing her. I tried to stop her. It was no stopping her. She stabbed her everywhere.
Police say a customer, a CPL holder in line at the drive-thru, witnessed the stabbing and shot his gun in the air, attempting to stop the crime. The suspect ran out of the fast food restaurant, the CPL holder getting out of his car and holding her at gunpoint until police arrived.
He absolutely did the right thing. He showed, so to speak, heroism.
Harris's family members beside themselves with grief.
We met the lady and everything. I don't understand why she had to kill her. My mama was even good to her. She was good to everybody.
It's just so incredibly sad. The children's father is incarcerated. They told us that when we met with them earlier today. So it was just their mom and them. The suspect is 26 years old. And of course, we expect her to be arraigned possibly tomorrow or the next day, hoping to learn more about what led up to this. Meanwhile, Jennifer worked here. She went by the name of Gemma, and she worked here for 15 years. So, I mean, just a horrible, horrible story all around. There is absolutely nothing that makes sense about this. Reporting live in East Point, Camille Amiri, Fox News.
Yeah, Camille, I know that Gemma and that other person had an argument today. The suspect comes back, stabbing her. But do we know if this was an ongoing fight beyond today between the two of them? Are family members saying anything about that?
They're not. I mean, you know, we're going to hear more about that situation at the 6 o'clock show. But from every intents and purposes that we've been able to learn, that the suspect actually went out of her way to be nice to the children. All of them here at the McDonald's, they would hang out sometimes here. So you're going to hear more about that relationship at 6 o'clock. But they just can't understand this because they say it's so out of the blue, and what led up to this, why she did this. That, of course, remains to be seen. But, of course, we'll have a lot more tonight at 6 o'clock.
All right, family. So look, she ain't die out in the streets. She ain't die doing dirt. She died trying to do things the right way, supporting her six kids. And the cold part is she got killed by someone she gave a shot to. That's what makes the whole thing so disgusting. She gave her an opportunity. The mother of these kids gave this woman an opportunity who killed her. You see why we live in a world now where everybody wants to give everybody a chance. Um, don't judge, be inclusive, people can change. Yeah, okay, and then you end up hiring a demon, and then and let me tell you, evil is real. Mental illness is real. People ignore red flags every single day because they're scared to be judgmental. Look, man, you better start judging. Stereotypes is the way that we get criminals off the street, right? Because your life or someone else might depend on it. If you could objectively see the patterns and objectively see what this individual is before for who they is. And I know I get it. And it's not saying that this is a children's mother who unfortunately died due to an unfortunate situation by someone doing an evil act. But what I'm saying is, um, people with big hearts, you have a big heart and they wear their heart on their sleeve. And there's people out there who is evil looking to find individuals like this so they can simply play off the sympathetic role or play the sympathetic role to play off of the sympathy with someone like a big heart, like Jennifer, who was a mom of 6. So, and we like to give people a shot. But the thing is, what if we just let people figure out themselves how to get themselves a shot? Because then, if you try to see the best of someone, is it really the person that they really portraying they is? We don't know. People put on facades every day and masquerades. And the thing is, judging isn't necessarily a bad thing. Because if you can judge that most, you know, young individuals or the youth are walking around with ski masks, um they call them shiesties. They walking around with dreads, and at the individual they walking in packs, and they call it a large gathering. Judging wise, we can tell we should not be around that environment. We need to get away and get home real quick because we don't know what something can conspire. Right? It's the same thing with hiring people. Right? That's why they look at your resume. They look at how you conduct yourself outside in the public, even on social media, because then you have to represent the company. And if the company don't see you as a cultural fit, then they judge you based on how you conduct yourself based on your own action, on top of you being qualified for the job. So you ever scroll across somebody's TikTok or Instagram and instantly feel like, nah, something ain't right with this one. That's intuition. That's discernment. That's common sense. This girl who stabbed Jennifer had a whole highlight reel of unhinged behavior online. Videos of her dressed like Chucky, masked up, making violent cryptic poses. I heard she was walking around a McDonald's playhouse like she was reenacting a horror film, and yet somebody still hired her because they wanted to see the best in her. But you can't see the best in someone who don't see the best in themselves, and they act in this way. That's what I mean by judging accordingly and the right reason. So, this could potentially save your life and others. Now, we perfect? No, we didn't know that she was going to do that. And I'm sure Jennifer didn't know she was going to do that to her. She was just offering her opportunity, giving her a shot. Opportunity that nobody on a whim probably wouldn't have gave this woman that stabbed her and killed her. But like, this was just regular, everyday minimum wage candidate that individuals try to say it was, but look how she acted herself online. So nah, it's no excuse. If you're a manager, especially in a fast food joint, which I worked at Wendy's before, where tensions already run high, you got to vet these folks effectively. You got kids in there, you got families, you got customers. You can't be letting psycho energy slip through the cracks just because you short staffed it. So, so was Ted Bundy, right? Let's kill that narrative right now. Apparently, the same woman who killed Jennifer was nice to kids around the restaurant. Even let them hang out with her sometimes. And that right there, that's how predators operate. They disarm you, they play nice, the facade, right? They smile, they laugh, they act like everything's cool until it's not, until they walk back in with a mask and start stabbing somebody at 8 in the morning. Being nice doesn't mean someone's not dangerous. You can't confuse charm with character, especially when someone's already been showing erratic behavior. And this is the part that had me like, whoa. Apparently, the woman that stabbed Jennifer came in and work one day talking about how she pulled a gun on her kids and blacked out. So you pulled a gun on your kids. That's not a red flag. That's a darn flare gun going off in the middle of a war zone. And here's the part that trips me out. She told this to people like it was some casual story. Like, yeah, broke my door, pulled the pistol on the babies anyway, passed the ketchup. Nah, that's not edgy. That's not hard. That's psychotic. And you don't get cool points for traumatizing your kids and walking around like you in a horror movie. At some point, we gotta admit that certain people don't need a second chance. They need a therapist, a psych evaluation, and maybe a restraining order from society. And you know who actually deserves some credit here? The CPL holder in the drive-thru. Regular dude just waiting on his food, see this going down, fires a warning shot to stop it. Because he shot a gun in the air, according to my recollection of the story. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm always open to the possibility of being wrong. But then he goes out and hold the woman at gunpoint that stabbed Jennifer until the cops arrived. He didn't run, didn't record it on TikTok. He acted accordingly. Now, I know gun debates can get political real quick, but this is a scenario that they don't tell you about. The one where a legally armed citizen prevents more death. He couldn't save Jennifer. She already been stabbed too many times, but he stopped that woman from hurting anybody else, period. And let's not lose the humanity in this. Jennifer kids aged 5 to 20 are now without their mother. Their father's incarcerated. So guess what? They got nobody. All because some unstable employee felt triggered, got told to clock out, and came back with a blade. And all this talk about workplace violence and mental health, it's not just issues. These are life and death realities for people just trying to survive. We are trying to figure it out. If you're a manager, a supervisor, owner, vet your people effectively. Google them, scroll their socials, watch how they talk, how they carry themselves, how they react under pressure. Also, how they act out of anger just because you may disagree with them. Because it may business from a business perspective, business doesn't have feelings, right? So let's say that a new rule go into effect, right? When I worked at Wendy's, not to get off topic, we had the district manager come in within the district of the Wendy's and the surrounding area, along with my Wendy's that I was located at. And the simple fact is, they would come in and say, "Look, you need to effectively make sure that you're putting that the fries are being rotated and flipped at the fry station. You need to make sure that when those timers beat, you need to make sure that you don't have fries in there longer than the timer is, because then they're expired and they're no good. And we like to give our customers fresh fries. We need to time them more effectively. So after you put a fresh batch, make sure you hit the timer and listen out for it, let along with the other timers when it comes to the fryers of cooking the fries, the fryers that's in the fry station that's reserved, waiting to get served. Also the burgers. So even though we didn't do that before as much effectively, but if I disagree with it out of anger, am I going to crash out, or I'm going to say, you know what? That is very conducive. Customers deserve it. The customer is right. We serve our customers, and we want to give them the best experience, let alone food, as possible. And I work accordingly and worked effectively and continue to um effectively build myself up to know how to effectively manage the timers while also giving great customer service. I don't go crash out and you know what I'm saying? So you don't owe everybody a job, but you owe the team that's there on the job safety. So this story is just sickening, man. Jennifer Harris did everything right. She worked, she provided, she helped keep her kids off the system. She showed up for everybody, even the same person who ended up taking her life. But that's the danger. When you're a good person, you think everybody else is too. And sometimes that's the most dangerous mindset you can leave. Rest in peace to Jennifer and to her children. I hope somebody steps up for them the way their mom stepped up every single day of her life. If you feel this way, the way that I do me a favor, subscribe, hit that like button for the algorithm, drop a comment. Do you think employers should be allowed to vet through social media? I mean, I have seen it working in the fast food industry when it comes to Wendy's, that I came across just walking by and clocking in and getting signing in on a sign-in chart. I seen my supervisor, who closed the door when I was walking in, scouring social medias to see who effectively is going to be part of my Wendy's team back then at the time. So should it be allowed to vet through social media, employers, or is it that invasion of privacy? Let's talk about it, because I don't think it is. If you put it out there for the public, social media is like the public nowadays. It's there forever. So I feel like you should conduct yourself accordingly, and that's the way the establishment will know how you represent that establishment outside of the job, because I have taught in private school, in the private high school, and in private school in general. Even though you're not in school, you still represent this institution. Let me know. And listen, be safe out there, because the monsters, they ain't hiding under your bed anymore. They clocking in right next to you. But on that note, family, peace.